After the confetti has been tossed, the bouquet has been thrown, after the makeup remover has been wiped on your face, and you might have blisters on your feet. People like giving opinions and then they don't really send the money with the opinion. You stand there, you walk down the aisle, you see each other, and then it's like, so what's been happening in the last few months? Because all we've been speaking about has been the wedding. It's reminding me of my single life before him, or like other dates that I went on with other guys. And I was like, I actually don't want to take this into my marriage. Organizing a wedding and how it really feels like being a bride, the know-how, the what they don't tell you. So as for the rest, couldn't care less. Ooh, that rhymes. That rhymes. That rhymes. Hi, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking and for wanting to watch this. So you saw the title, you're probably like, what is she actually going to speak about it? Yes, but this is the only time I'll be speaking about it, and do not ask me any other questions that I do not address, okay? I'm only going to be touching on the topics that I'm touching on right now. Let me get into it. Why did I decide to make this video? Okay. Backstory, for those who don't know, yes, I'm wearing a ring, which means the girl is about to get married. The girl's about to get married. Yes, fam, I am getting married. The proof is in the wedding pudding. I'm getting married. Yes, fam, finally. I'm saying finally because I actually thought I would not get married. Fam, I was really enjoying life, okay? I was really enjoying life, and I started getting to a point where I really was content with being on my own. And then the Lord was like, actually, you put it the deck sal gekry. I'll include the translation loosely down below. Point is, I'm about to get married according to a few weeks from now. Intent. But I just thought, let me just give you guys like some context. Not for me and my significant other, because I ain't about to chat about that with you guys. I don't know you guys like that. But the point is, the whole thing of organizing a wedding and how it really feels like being a bride, the know-how, the what they don't tell you. So first things first. Everyone is always posting, oh my god, I said yes. But they never say anything about you just said yes to sleepless nights, to an overwhelming amount of questions. It's almost like people expect you to, by the time you say yes, you already planned your whole wedding. On the day that you say yes, like, make it make sense, guys, as my cousin usually says. Shout out, Alicia. Hello. But the point is, you said yes to everyone bombarding you with their expectations of what they think you should be having on your day with your significant other, and also the experience of what they think you should do with the money that you saved, or your parents if you are fortunate to do so. So I was like, this experience, I'm gonna give you the DL, the joy version of how this went down. And I'm saying this because, again, I'm getting married just before, like a week before kind of situation, okay? So I think it's a perfect time to reflect on this, having my own experience. So when I was asked to get married by my next significant other, I actually had no clue, none whatsoever, on what it is that I actually want for my big day. Fam, I really had no idea. I was not one of those chicks who had a whole app, a whole Pinterest board, and she was just waiting for the man to arrive. Like, that was definitely not me. There came a point in time in my life where I was like, you planning this wedding is actually taking up much needed mental space and just capacity and stress level and worry over something of which you have no man at the point in time, but you are trying to plan this. And I was just like, this is not gonna work out. So for me, I was like, girl, you got bigger fish to fry, and imaginary wedding that you're making up in your mind or on a Pinterest board is not gonna help you, because then you're gonna go on social media and seeing everyone posting, I said yes, wedding on the way, wedding kind to go, bridal shower here, dress there, fitting here. It's gonna upset you. So rather just not do that. Upset me being like, it's kind of reminding me of I wanted, but I'm like, I'm not there yet. No man, just yet. It's fine, whatever, you know, catching the joke. When I said yes, I started from scratch. When I mean scratch, I mean scratch. I did know what I do not want, and that was that I do not want to get married in December because everyone that I know gets married in December. I was even keen on getting married in the middle of winter, and when you're Cape Townian, that is a very dicey option. So I chose not to do that. But yeah, like I said, I was just like, I'm getting married in Cape Town. Definitely not December, and that is the gist of it. I also said I don't want a big massive wedding. Yeah, more on that after this, but let me start off. That was with me saying yes. So now obviously you said yes, everyone's like asking you about dates and things. First and foremost, don't feel pressurized to answer anyone's questions. The only people's questions you are, in my opinion, supposed to be answering are those of your parents and those of your groom's parents or fiance's parents, you know, the person you're gonna marry. As for the rest, couldn't care less. Ooh, that rhymes. That rhymes. That rhymes. But the point is, it's between you and your significant other to be and parents-in-law and your parents. That's it. And like I said, it's up to you guys. You don't feel pressurized to come up or have a date in mind already, or what it is that you're gonna plan or whatever else. It's your day. Everyone had their day. Some people regret having their day, but the point is, this is your time to shine and your time to say that this is what I want and I'm sticking to it. Yes, it is very difficult sometimes, and sometimes you do feel overwhelmed, you feel under pressure because you might be the first one to get married. It's still your day. Your day, who you hopefully and God willing will only experience once in your life. So unless you do a vow renewal with said same person 20, 50, 40 years down the line, God willing, praise the Lord, hallelujah for the future blessings. It's your day, so it's going to be difficult and very quite interesting, and it's going to test all of your innermost personal work, #therapy and Jesus, in terms of sticking to this is what I desire, this is what we desire, and respectfully declining and saying, but that was your thing, this is what I want and need and what I envisioned for the day, and also according to my budget. There's that also. People like giving opinions and then they don't really send the money with the opinion. But anyway, I'm just being spicy. Now, choosing a venue. Cape Town is not just a wedding destination for the country, and I mean the whole country. I love going to Cape Town for a wedding, but the whole world, because South African rand, you know, according to the euro, the GBP, the US dollar, it's much cheaper, and you're getting very scenic routes and backgrounds and venues, world-class venues. I mean, you are basically getting a French background, Italian background type of wedding setting if you want, for a way cheaper budget, plus it's on the same time zone as for #those Europeans. So yeah, that is also why it's a very popular like destination or wedding destination. So choosing a venue, man, especially if you want to get married during peak season in Cape Town or just peak wedding season across the board in SA, that would be probably from October up until April. Child, you need to know what it is that you want and you need to decide quick. I definitely, even though I did not have a man at the time, or while we were still dating, and even before, I knew that at some stage I would hope that I would get married. So I started putting money away for that, you know, just in the time being, rather save up, and then you're like, okay, cool, I can do this. And also, by the grace of God, we actually could get married within a shorter space of time rather than waiting a year, 2 years, or even more to save up, to pay off debts, to then buy a flat and whatever else in order to then get married. So there's that. Choose a venue. Make sure you know what it is that you want to do. We chose, like, we had like a short list. Okay, these are the type of things that we want. This is a destination within Cape Town, because you get the very like winelands area, then you get like more Cape Town, like town CBD kind of vibe, which the weather is way more unpredictable, mind you. The other things, obviously, with your guest list, fam, in order to save up on time, definitely go and be like, realistically speaking, this is what I can afford. And then also, what kind of relationship do these people have in your lives, and then also your parents' lives on both sides. That is definitely something you should take into consideration, especially when you start looking at venues. It's first budget, then venue, stationery, whatever else. But first start off with the budget so that you know we cannot go over this amount. And also realistically, this is what we can afford. This is what we can splurge on versus that. I've never had a man ghost me. I lie. Once a guy ghosted me, okay? But I've never ever experienced or thought I would experience a whole decor vendor ghosting us for a whole month. And also, why was I trying to hold on to the dream of having this vendor whom I shall not name? But I was just like, really now? You ghosting us? I was like, And the whole thing of my groom my husband to be being like, child, there are so many other vendors out there who are more than capable, able, willing to assist, and is actually available on that date to actually assist us. So why we hung up on this one? I mean, we were calling them, they were saying, yeah, we had a meeting, planning, added them to the Pinterest board, everything else, and we're like, okay, they're gonna send the lookbook and then the quote, and we are still waiting on a response. Yes, fam, beware of that. I would say as soon as you have the date, then you get the venue. So it's the date, budget, venue. After you have the venue, I would highly recommend that you go and be like, decor vendor, this is what I need to look at. This is the style that we like. Look at the Instagram or the other social media to see like what have they done at which venues. Do they do a copy and paste or do they actually customize according to the client? Another thing when you are choosing vendors, and I'm just being all over the show, is that you need to look at and almost like study, does the style resonate with what it is that you want on your day? Or is it a case of they just go with whatever they think is best and they just stick to it? Be very aware of vendors who kind of like force their ideas on you and they don't really listen to what you have to say, nor do they respect your budget and your hard-earning money. Okay, so just be aware of that. I will say that was with the decor. Thank the Lord we actually managed to find a vendor. Thank you very much for assisting us in a very short space of time. Speaking of vendors, we actually decided to get a vendor who does all the stationery stuff, like your welcome sign, your menus, your seating chart, whatever else it is that you want, because the less vendors you have, the less like hassles you might have, but it's just much easier to manage and to keep track of and to monitor questions and queries and things. So we just decided to do that. Such a breeze. I would highly recommend doing that. It really helped because now you know like the style of all the stationery, it speaks to each other and it also speaks with the decor. So the stationery and the decor people, they need to be like in constant check with each other. So photographers and videographers, again, because it is Cape Town and because it is prime wedding season, it is definitely also prime all things fashion, photography, and all those kind of things as well. And some, I would say, videographers and photographers, they do a few events. Not everyone only caters for like weddings. Some cater and they do like other type of jobs as well, in which it also falls within the peak season aside from wedding. And also wedding photography and videography is a very distinct kind of service and type of event. So for us, we definitely looked at, and I'm saying we because it wasn't a case of I decide everything, because I was not marrying myself, I was marrying someone. We decided a lot of things together and we were like, we sticking to this? Are we happy? Are we good? Because I do not want to get on the day and then I'm being honest, baby girl, why is this person here? Why did you decide to do this? Or ooh, this looks interesting. I don't want to hear about it on the day, because on the day I just want to experience it. Apparently it goes by so quickly. So for me, I was like, I want it to be an us day, not a what Joy wants kind of day. No, it should be an us day. Us being the starting and the core is me and hubby to pay, okay, and then also our parents, because again, like this is a crucial part of, I would say, a parent and a child relationship. If you do decide to take the step and get married, it's not just, oh, I'm just marrying my guy and it's just us for the rest forever and a day. I mean, no, you're actually marrying that person's like whole family. and their friendship circle. You marrying their village, like village plus village equals a bigger village. That is kind of like what happens when you get married or when you decide to do it. So for us, it was very important to set the tone from the beginning. This is how we want to start doing things. That is it in terms of the photographer, videographer. I must say, at the end of the day, after having like a top 3, we decided to find out or get to or choose on the ones that we decided on based on our budget, their style. Does it resonate with us? Why did we feel like we can see these people really capturing our day? After the confetti has been tossed, the bouquet has been thrown, after the makeup remover has been wiped on your face, and you might have blisters on your feet. After all of those things have been happening, people are going back to their homes and you settling in with your now significant other, permanently per home affairs or social security department, whichever country you're from. After all is said and done, you are only left with 2 things from your wedding, being, or 3 things: your memories, which are captured via the videographer and the photographer. That is basically it. And your own personal memories that you'll carry with you. That is basically what you'll have to say, hey, I actually got married. Like, I've captured it. This is how it looks like. What I have in my brain, memory-wise, this is actually how it played out. Oh yeah, I remember how this looked like. So for me, it was very important. I was like, there's certain things I'm a splurge on for me, what I decided on. And then also, certain things I'm like, I won't pay a ridiculous amount. Believe it or not, my dress was not one of it. Budget is very much subjective. It is not a certain amount for everyone. For some people, what might be for me like, oh, that's not that big of a deal. For others, it's like, are you crazy? So whenever people say it's within your budget, it's based on what it is that you as a couple and parentals or whoever wants to assist in paying for the wedding. It's what you guys decide. And also remember, there's a whole like life after the wedding, Ned. The wedding is literally the day 1 of like the rest of your marriage. It's the day official. It's actually, you have the interview or the prelude, the preview, which is like your dating phase, and then you have the wedding, which like signifies like, okay, we taking this for real, and then the rest of your marriage is like the rest of it. So you want to make sure like you budget accordingly. Okay, now on the shoes, the outfit, first and foremost, I actually did things very, how would I say, achterstevoor, like backwards to front, back to front. I think is how you say it. So we said yes. Then I was like, okay, cool. We need a date. Then after the date, we had a venue. After that, we knew, okay, cool. Guest-wise, this is also per the budget. I feel like the venue and the amount of guests kind of like go hand in hand, and budget. Like those 3 are kind of like marriage Allah. So after we did that, I was like, okay, I need a dress. I know that I'm not gonna hire one because my body is custom, okay? But not only that, I actually do struggle to find formal anything or just dresses. Like online shopping has not been my friend. So I knew that I need something that I would have to go and look for, and it's gonna be an interesting choice. So what I did was, based on where I'm at, I was like, I first asked my mom, is she able to fly in to at least go with me? So my mom was literally, up until this point, she's the only one who saw my dress. And I actually quite like it that way because it's like our little secret, you know what I mean? But also at the end of the day, I really wanted my mom there. It would have been ideal if my grandmothers were actually able to be there as well, but obviously they are no longer with us. So yeah, it was quite nice having my mom there, and I was like, the least amount of people there is, the less opinions. And I'm like, this person really knows, she knows me. I mean, she really knows my taste and also my personal style. And I will say this, when I chose my wedding dress, I knew exactly what I do not want. I was like, I do not want lace. I don't want lace. That is what I can tell you right now. I was like, I definitely don't want lace. As for what might look interesting on my body or look good, I have no idea. And it's very difficult when I go on social media and I look at gorgeous dresses, my word. But now not everyone is built like me. Like, I'm quite petite, so like the way that I'm built isn't like extremely curvaceous. I'm not extremely tall either, so that cuts out quite a lot of the dresses out there. I almost had to take like, okay, this person has like shoulders that might look like mine, okay, the stomach might look like mine, the bottom half looks like mine, so I had to kind of like strip out like. And then I was just like, okay, cool, let me just go and see what they have. I actually went to 2 places, and I did not, on the same day that I went to go and look for dresses, I found my dress and I was like, that's the dress. How it works, well, my experience was, I first had to ask, are they available for consultation? You pay a consultation fee, and then usually per the type of consultation that you have, like the longer the time, the more amount of dresses that you can fit on, the more expensive the consultation fee, again per your budget. So I went there and I chose like certain styles. I told them straight off the bat, this is what I do not want. That way it doesn't waste like the amount of dresses that I can fit on, and also the time that I have. And then I saw a dress. I first went to one place and I was like, ooh, this is very nice. Then I went to the second place and I kind of saw something similar in terms of the shape of the dress, and I knew, okay, this is kind of like the direction that actually surprisingly looks good on me. Then I asked them, do they have something that is not your ordinary, because that's just my style. I mean, right now I'm wearing this. I wear like bell bottoms that looks like a disco pants, and I would just wear that. I actually wore it at my bridal shower. So like for me, like it was quite nice to find something that also resonates with my personal style in a wedding dress. I would say it's very like a classic, timeless kind of silhouette, but the material and some of the details just add a spin on it. And I mean, a slit, that's just me, okay? For those who know, girl loves a good slit. Definitely like ties quite nicely into my personal style, and that is why I chose it. I knew that I definitely wanted to do like a sneaker for the reception. I still have to get stock. And when we went to Korea, I actually got this, but at the time I didn't know that I would actually want to wear this as my like wedding reception shoe. So this is kind of like what I'm wearing. I know. So I'm actually wearing this very nice colorful. Got this on sale because the girl also always loves a good sale. So I looked for a wedding shoe and it was quite difficult. Fam, you have to get your shoes as early as possible, because by the time I got my shoe, people started selling like winter shoes. And the last time I checked, evening shoes and sandals and open toe things are not available the same time that winter shoes are available. So I kind of got stressed. Okay, I was stressed like quite a bit. I was stressed out because I had to take a wedding shoe for my next wedding, or my dress fitting. So then, oh thank the Lord, he pulled through with the young Zara. And then I actually managed to get the shoe. I don't know if you guys can see it. Quite nice, from Zara. I'm so happy with my choice, because it looks like a heeled kind of shoe, but it's open. And I was also like, again, I don't want to have pointy shoes, because I was just thinking it might be a long day. And then the heel, it's actually not like a very sharp kind of heel. I might do a heel stopper maybe, because I'll be walking on grass and the girl does not want to fall on her birthday. Yeah, the shoe mishap, that really made me stressed out, eh? Planning a wedding in a short space of time has its pros and cons. On the pro side, especially if you are very indecisive or you struggle with making decisions as and when you're supposed to be making them, like, it helps because there's not much time for you to go back and forth. It's also very nice because after this, like, child, like, my mental space is gonna free up and my budget. But also it's just a case of you don't feel like this anticipation of something that's so dragged out and then it tires you out. But at least that is how I experience life. Would I do it all over again, planning it like this? Yes. I will say it was quite difficult planning everything and having literally like months to plan it, and doing it with festive season in between, because that took or shed off like what, a month and a half of not being available or people not being available, and definitely added to my stress level. But in terms of like, generally speaking, I'm actually happy that everything went more than okay. Praying during like this time, praying for a calm spirit, for a good night's rest. I actually need to start like resting up like real soon. I'm so grateful. One of the things that I learned during this time is that it's okay to say that I need help. It's okay to ask for help. And for someone who is so used to being the person who's always helping and taking the lead, and it was okay to rely on everyone around me, rely on my village. Planning a wedding, if you had to do it alone, my word. First and foremost, it's a full-time job. And so, oh, something I forgot to just mention is you kind of need to decide if you want to have like a wedding coordinator or wedding planner, or if you want to plan it yourself. I do know there's a difference between a planner and a coordinator. Don't quote me on these things. Go check out and go YouTube the experts. But anyway, we actually had a coordinator, which is a bonus, and she's just so happens to be family. You know who you are. It just brought a lot of relief knowing that she can handle a lot of things, very organized, always asking what's my opinion, do I know about this change, what are my thoughts, like, and I can ask her, can you please take care of this, and she just runs with it like mentally. And I must say it actually gets so draining, especially when you're near like the last month before the wedding. Like there came a point in time where both myself and husband to be, we were drained. Like mentally we were tapped out, like completely tapped out. We should not stop dating, especially during this time. Just because a wedding is happening doesn't mean that we should stop dating. It also means that not every single time that we see each other it has to be about wedding stuff, because then you don't want to get to a point where you stand there, you walk down the aisle, you see each other, and then it's like, so what's been happening in the last few months? Because all we've been speaking about has been the wedding. But the thing is, the wedding is a part of your life, and planning it is a part of your relationship. It is not the relationship. The main point and the reason why all of these things are happening is because of the relationship. So you need to make sure like you actually still go on dates, you still check in, still ask, but how's your day been going? What did I not know about, or what did I miss during this week that we maybe didn't speak about? Let's pause the wedding stuff for now and let's just speak about what has life been like. What have you been experiencing changes? How do you feel? Like I also notice how when it comes to planning a wedding, a lot more focus is placed on the bride and not necessarily on the groom as much, maybe. Then last but not least, fam, packing. Oh my gosh. So I've been busy packing up because obviously I'm moving in. Okay, busy packing up my things. I did not anticipate how emotional it's gonna be. Like there's moments in times where I'm like, oh my word, I'm like reflecting on like I went through this and then I went through this and like those kind of things. But packing up your things and being like, there's certain things I want to leave, certain things where I'm like, this reminds me, or the memory that I have attached to this item of clothing or like a note or whatever is not reminding me of a time with me and my guy. Like it's reminding me of my single life before him, or like other dates that I went on with other guys. Like, and I was like, I actually don't want to take this into my marriage. And even just the space, like I was like, I'll rather donate this and give it to someone else because it's still in very good condition. But yeah, like I literally went through everything. And also it was a massive and a very nice spring cleaning moment, because girl had to spring clean, okay. I definitely had to spring clean. But yeah, it was quite interesting for me also reflecting on, but this is who I am now. Like my style, my personal style has changed so much, and I'm just like, I'm in a completely new space, new journey when it comes to all spheres of my life. And therefore for me it was actually very therapeutic letting go of things, going through my closet, being like, do I really need this? But also, what kind of memory do I have attached with this? Packing up, especially when you're very close with your family, it is like, it's emotionally, like you really feel it. Like you go through the most. Like I was bawling my eyes out at a stage because I like you're so excited about like this is the big day, like everyone is like, oh my gosh, you're getting married, like you and your family always like discussing it, but then when it actually happens, yes, it's not a case of, oh, I'm leaving my family, I'm never seeing them again, but it's a case of life will never be the same again. Like life as I've known it up until this point will forever change. Who I see when I wake up won't be the same. Like where I wake up, like that is completely different. At the same time where it's a new beginning, you're also mourning the loss of your life as you know it. Mourning being your routine with the people that you live with. Realizing, oh my gosh, like there really is a shift in your dynamic or when you do decide to get married. But yeah, like I just thought it would be interesting to chat about these things. Let me know in the comment section if you have already like gone through this process. How was it for you? If you are still in it, child, this is a space where we giving tips out here, okay? We're not leaving people hanging. Also, Instagram will be your best friend. Social media will be your best friend in terms of doing your research, asking people who got married in the same location or use the same vendors. What was their experience like? Go forth and conquer. Use those resources out there. I also listened to like 2 podcasts that really helped, especially during this time. Shout out to the vendors table. Out in the UK, you guys might not know it, but I've been listening to you guys, okay? And then also the Bride's Room, I think it's called, but I'll include it in the description below. Those podcasts are definitely helped because they kind of like break down like tips when it comes to MUAs, like makeup artists, or like when you choose like a DJ, stuff like that. It definitely helped like a lot in terms of just getting an understanding, because obviously it's my first time getting married, so I'm going in it cold being I had no idea what it is that I wanted to do. But yeah fam, thank you so much for listening to my rant, my venting, and also I hope that you managed to get some key insight and maybe learned a thing or two that might be helpful for when you decide to take on this journey called love turned into marriage, okay? But yeah fam, thank you so much for listening. I'll check you guys out in the next video. Bye. Oh, and before I get, remember to like and subscribe, comment, you know what to do if you want to know what's going on. I'm still deciding if I want to do something about the actual wedding day, but this is basically the only time I'll actually be speaking about my marriage, getting married, so don't even ask me any other questions pertaining to the actual anything else, okay? Thank you. Bye.